And obviously, like, I watch Jay Aubrey as well because I mean, I think Jay Aubrey's good friends with Right Opinion.
Yeah, I can tell
they help each other out.
Their styles are like similar but different enough that you know, their content stands out for themselves. But I kind of respect their content in the same way, where they really know how to break down like how public perception can warp an opinion of a certain person.
I think with sometimes commentary channels, I don't like being told what my opinion should be.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes some narration, like I think some videos in Jay Aubrey are like very like, they kind of like, the way he narrates would be like, all right, you should think this way. Right. I'm sure he doesn't intend to, that's just the way I like perceived it. But I mean, still amazing videos.
Yeah. It's either one way or the other, where if commentary channels either, I know you're a fucking clown, and I know no one's gonna fucking listen to you.
Yeah,
like, you know, something like Keemstar. You know what I mean?
Right,
like it's either one way or the other. Where there's like so many commentary channels I see that hit that middle ground.
Yeah.
And you know, try and think that they are like the fucking holy grail of opinions.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, dude, it's just.
And then you have some commentary channels that just kind of are commentary channels, like technically speaking, but just the way that they present shit and like the topics they choose just kind of go away from commentary. Like perfect example of that, who I fucking love watching, is Leon Lush.
I like Leon Lush, but more humor focused, I think.
But technically he's a commentary channel, right?
Guess,
like technically speaking, but like the way he presents it and the topics he covers is just so. It's like Cody Ko, right? With like the what's the series that he does where he cringes at shit? I think it's just called Cringe, right?
I don't really watch Cody Ko or what's the other guy? Curtis Connor, is it the other one? It's like those three, right? Yeah, because I don't really watch them. I watch a lot of, I really like Danny Gonzalez. I think he's really funny. I think also the stuff he does where he like bought, this is a video he made where he spent like $15,000 on YouTube ads. It was such a fucking good video.
I think I've seen that video.
That's such a good video.
I was like, I didn't know who you were talking about, but I remember that. I remember watching that video.
He's also got such a good personality. Really like him.
Yeah.
And Drew Gooden as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the channel called Anxiety War?
No.
I mentioned it briefly. He basically does How to Catch a Predator. Like, that's his thing.
Right.
And he's a fucking psychopath. Like, I don't know how you can... He spends all day talking to pedophiles. I don't know how you can do that. Like, how do you do that? That's weird, right?
Yeah, that is weird.
But, like, he goes and meets up with them and, like, films them. And some of these dudes... There was one dude he met up with that was, like, 8 foot or some shit. This guy's built like a brick shit house. And he turned up pretending to be a girl.
What?
Yeah. And so he goes up... He literally just does How to Catch a Predator. But instead of going there with, like... armed police and everything. He goes alone with like a camera, and I'm like, you're insane.
That's how
does he have
die.
a crew or anything?
No, it's just him. He turns up with a handheld camera.
How many subscribers does he have?
Oh god, like over 500,000. And I think
it's like Chris Hansen hard mode.
yeah. And like at one point, I think
health.
I think the Predators tried to sue him. One of them did. I don't think it worked out, but. Like, the guy's got a strange personality as well when you're watching him. I'd watch it just for fascination, just to see how this guy does it. But, man, it's such a weird presenting style. And he's constantly, like, giggling to himself while he's recording it. It's really weird. But it's an interesting watch. I don't think it's, like... It's something unnerving about watching it because the content that he's talking about and the way that he's talking about it, like he's talking about like how he trolled someone on Xbox, but it's actually some dude who's trying to fuck a kid, and it's like, okay, wow.
I kind of seeing a pattern with all the content you're recommending, and it is very much you just like the human aspect, a human kind of story behind it, right?
There's a lot of channels that I like that. I just think the guy's a fucking weirdo, and I don't really like the personality, but I think they're just so fascinating to watch.
I reckon you'd love this channel then that Aki recently recommended to me called Soft White Underbelly.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I've not heard of that channel.
It's this guy who basically, he's like this photographer guy, but he basically goes around like streets of LA and stuff like that, and he picks up like homeless people for whatever reason, and they bring him in to interview them and kind of like talk about their life and like why they're homeless and how they got there and shit like that. Right. So like there's ones where he's like, you know, he picks up a dude like from the street and like asks what he's about, and he ended up being homeless because he like raped his mom or something, or like did some like this like insane crime, and these people just like fucking break down on camera just talking about their life, and it's just it's really raw, but it's so fucking interesting to watch just because you otherwise would never hear about these people's lives, right? And there's like no bullshit, like there's no like, you know, snarky like commentator being or like presenter being like, so tell us your story about why you're homeless. It's just like, it's literally just listening to a dude try and communicate with this clearly broken person for whatever reason. And you just, some of these backstories, I'm just like, holy shit, like, how are you alive?
Yeah.
Like,
it's so 50-50 for me with those, especially when they're getting homeless people, because I'm like, it's such a fine line between, in my eyes, being like, all right, genuine or just like taking advantage.
Or like this is like kind of like reality TV. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like the I don't know, the backstory Olympics, you know what I mean?
like
right.
It's like an X Factor
Yeah,
audition,
where it's just like, okay, who has the worst, most tragic backstory? Who do we want to cheer for, right?
I'm more, that's why I'm always like, okay, some of them, like, I could definitely see. God, there was a channel where, like, this guy interviews, like, meth heads and stuff. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but that's a really good channel. Yeah. And he did, like, a really raw, emotional interviews.
I feel like, though, like, with the way that you present it, like, I've seen a bunch of his videos, and they all seem pretty
That's just, like, gut
genuine.
feeling. Like, I mean, if you say so,
it's
I
a
trust
gut
you.
feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen the fake ones before, and this one definitely doesn't seem like the fake ones.
Just a lot of them where it's, like, sad music, royalty 3, and then they've picked up some, like, crackhead.
Yeah.
And it's like...
No, you know if there's, like, fucking, like, sad music in the back of it, it's probably fucking scripted, right? It's like, you must feel sad now because of the sad music.
It's not even... It's also, like, the sad music, you know they've gone from the YouTube library, because you've heard it a million times before on, like, other channels. It's like,
I see you're also using Kevin MacLeod.
Like, you know, like I was in a shopping mall the other day, and I was walking past like this makeup section, and they were using that fucking ukulele. That fucking ukulele YouTube stock music.
That's my favorite piece of music. Just because I can envision every video that uses it. Yeah. It's like way too like fucking white. The white balance is just completely off. It's like way too bright, way too sunny. The background is way too clean, and it always starts with, "Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Today's my outfit of the day." Yeah,
I look back to that period and just think, why ukulele? Why did every vlogger at one point have a ukulele?
You can't be sad listening to a ukulele, right? Like you can't play it like a oh shit, I'm about to cry fucking ukulele.
Yeah, but it's also the kind of like my family is dying around me and like I'm crying ukulele. You know. Do you guys like Report of the Week? Did you guys?
I love Report of the Week.
Yeah. I love Report of the Week.
He is like in a league of his own in terms of content.
There's like I also think of him as like a category of creator.
Yeah.
Like I can often compare creators to him in the sense of like that's the kind of charm that they have.
Well, what other creators do you think are like
Buff Carell?
I was about to say like Buff Carell. I wanted to shout out my boy Buff Carell. Like, okay, how do you describe Buff Carell as a channel?
It is just you can never like leave one of his videos not being happy.
Yeah,
like just a guy like literally Buff Carl. That's his name. He's buff.
Yeah,
he dances and sings. His singing is horrible, but in such an endearing and funny way that like you love it.
Because the boy can dance.
The boy can fucking dance, and he's buff as fuck as well.
My God.
And like
I love this man.
The first time you watch any of his videos, everyone goes on the same trip where like he starts dancing. You're like, okay, this boy can dance.
Please pause this video and go and watch one video. Real quick
and then he opens his mouth, and it's just like the fucking worst singing you've ever heard. But then he does it with such self-confidence that you're like, damn man, I can only respect
you know what he is? He's the epitome of like, this is what I do in my room when I'm alone. But I decided to get a camera and start recording myself.
He's so happy doing it. Like you just like, man, I love it. I love it.
It's so infectious. Like my dream is to one day have a fucking karaoke sesh with Buff Carell. Please, Buff Carell, come to Japan. We'll have you on Trash Taste and go to a karaoke sesh. That is like my fucking dream. That is on like my fucking list of things to do before I die.
And I love as well like the little Easter eggs he throws around. Like the fact that he has a picture of himself on his wall.
Yeah, I love that.
It's so endearing.
And the fact that the camera quality is like the same fucking low HD fucking 5-pixel cameras.
And it's like, the thing I love is that like he's not even pointing the camera at himself. He's pointing it at a mirror that has a reflection of him.
Epic, dude. Epic.
It's like
cinematography.
That's the thing, right? It's like it's channels like that, like him and like Report of the Week, where it's like, I don't care if this is a joke or if they're being 100% serious. It's still entertaining.
I would be impressed if they were putting that on. Yeah, because there's no way that kind of genuine kind of like happiness cannot like radiate.
But it's the age-old question, right? Like with Report of the Week, like is that actually how he is, or is he just doing this joke until it catches on?
I don't want to know. You know
right. But like that's like kind of like half the fun.
I love the memes. I love the memes of Report.
But it's just kind of like this content creator who I feel like they're just being themselves, but part of their personality is so fucking infectious that you cannot watch a video and not come out happier. You know what I mean? I could be having the shittest day, put on a Buff Carell video, I'm like, okay, my day's better.
Buff Carell.
How can I be sad when he's not sad? You know what I mean? How can I be having
when
a
he's
shitty
pulling
day?
off these sick moves, right?
Exactly, man.
Dude, Buff Curl's Twitter is the most like blessed cursed thing I've ever
Really?
seen.
I haven't followed it.
Because like I think like 3 times a day he posts a selfie of himself
yeah.
with like no caption from like different angles. It's just- it's the most like it's like a dude who just loves himself so much, but you can't hate him for it.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
it's like you have so much self-confidence,
Yeah.
and man, I respect
Because
that.
it's just like I can't like quantify into words, but like what is the line between like vanity and self-confidence? And Buff Carell, like he fucking obliterates that line because he's so vain, yet you just feel happy for him. There's no negative feelings.
Right.
It's just I fucking love him, man.
love him, man.